Hi, I'm Matt Prelip from the instructional support team in the College of Health Solutions at Arizona State University. And we, in a previous video, set up OBS, Open Broadcast Software, for teaching. And it was a little plain. So, in this session, we're going to dress it up. We're going to use some graphics, we're going to use some color, and we're going to use some text. We're going to give it a makeover. So, like any good HGTV host, let's get that makeover started. When we set up our instance of OBS, we did a presentation scene, and this has our slides up there in the right-hand corner, and then the webcam right here in the bottom left-hand corner. But as you can see, we have a good setup. It's fine, but a little dry with the black all in the background. So we're going to add some design here today. We're going to start off by putting a background color. And so because we're true Sun Devils, we want to put some gold in there. So let's start with our color source. That's going to bring up a window we're going to call ASU Gold. And as you can see, it starts off with white, which is 6 Fs in the HTML code. So what you'll learn here is HTML. And in HTML, all colors have a code. In the case of white, it's 6 Fs. In the case of black, it's 6 zeros. But in the case of ASU Gold, it is FFC 627. And so there we go. We'll click OK, and we'll click OK again. We have our ASU Gold, but we've got a little problem. It's covering everything up, and we want it in the background. Well, if you'll notice, in sources, this is where the order by which things are seen on the screen. So whatever's on top of the list is what's on top. And as we go down, underneath there's our display, and there's our webcam. It's not really imperative where your microphone goes, but so that can be anywhere. You may want to just put it at the very bottom so that it's out of the way in your ordering of things. But we're going to click and drag ASU Gold down below the webcam. And so there we go. There we go. We have an ASU Gold background, which is great. Brings a little bit more life to the program window, and also draws your attention more into the camera as well as the slides, but still a little sparse. So how about we bring in the College of Health Solutions logo? So we're going to add an image, and we're going to call that CHS logo. And we're going to click OK. We need to find that on our computer. So we're going to browse, and we're going to go to the location where those logos are, which on my computer is right here. And we're going to do the vertical version, and we're going to do ping, a PNG file. So if you can use a GIF, I guess. I call it a GIF. There's a lot of debate about that, but so you can add a GIF or a PNG file, a ping, because those have transparent backgrounds. And in this case, we want the gold to still be the background. If you use a JPEG, you're probably going to have a white background, and that just doesn't look great. So we are going to choose for video, and we are going to choose the horizontal version or the vertical version of the CHS logo. And as you can see, it's huge. So what we want to do is we're going to make that small. We're just going to grab the corner of that red border, and it's going off the screen a little bit, so we'll bring it back here. And fortunately in OBS, everything is proportional, so you don't have to worry about it getting wonky looking. And see, one thing that sometimes happens is as you're dragging one item, you end up grabbing another. So be careful of that. So we're going to go back down here. We're going to click on CHS logo, make sure it is chosen, and still a little big. So we're going to bring that down just a touch, and we're going to center that and make sure it's right there in our corner. If you need to, you can use the arrow keys to move that around a little bit. All right, so we're looking good, but we want to remind the students what class they are taking. At the moment, they're taking everything via Zoom. So we're going to put the course title in here. So how do we do that? We just click our plus button again, and we go to text, and we're going to say course title. So we're going to go here. And so for ASU, we want to stay with the ASU branding. The actual font of ASU is called Accident Grotesque. And unfortunately, most of us don't have a license for that font. So there are two alternatives. You can use Arial, which is very easy in this case because it's right there. But you can also select one that I like. It's called Roboto. And that is available for free from Google Fonts. Just go to fonts.google.com and search for Roboto. And as you can see here, we got our Roboto font. And I like to use Roboto Black. It's just a little bit thicker than bold, and I think it resembles the Accident Grotesque a little bit more. And so having done this before, I know that 256 size font is going to be probably the size of the entire screen. So we want to bring that down just a little bit. We're going to make it 165. Click enter, and we're going to click OK. So we now have our font. We need to type in course title. And while the white goes okay with the gold background, we have a lot of white going on in our presentation so far. So you may not notice it, but there's a little scroll bar over on this side here and takes us down for some more choices on our font. We want to do the ASU maroon. So the actual HTML code for maroon, and by the way, in HTML, you're going to want that pound slash numbers slash hashtag sign in front of it. It is 8C1D40, and there is our ASU maroon. We're going to change the color of that, and so we're looking good so far. Other than title is spelled incorrectly, we can go ahead and double click on that, or we'll just go down here, say course title, and we'll go ahead and spell that correctly. Typos happen, but easily corrected in OBS. So we're going to go ahead and drag that down here to the lower right hand corner, and there you go. You got a nice balanced screen, dressing it up a little bit, putting your course title, maybe a few notes that you want the class to see throughout the entire lecture. You can put down in that area. Also, you still have space above your webcam and below the logo. Play around with it, have some fun. So that is one way of doing this from within OBS. Now, there's another way. If you enjoy playing around with Photoshop, or actually the image that we're going to use in this course we'll make available to you as well, but you could do what's called an overlay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get rid of these things that we've added thus far. We're going to get rid of the logo, and we're going to get rid of our ASU gold background color. So we're back to square one, and so we have our black bars. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert this image, and we're going to call this CHS overlay because it is going to go on top. And remember, we just spoke about sources. Whatever's on top will be on top, so we don't need to move it once we add it. And we're going to go ahead and browse for that, and we know that it is right here, and I called it CHS OBS Overlay 3. We had a couple different versions of this. So we're going to go ahead and set that in here. And as you can see, similar to what we had set up in OBS, but a little bit nicer. We were able to make a circle for the webcam. We were able to put a border around that presentation. But everything's not fitting quite right. So let's go ahead and grab our webcam, and we're gonna make that a little bit better to sit in that window. There you go. So we got a little Brady Bunch thing going on there. Got our black border. The webcam's all set up. The display is too big for this this frame, so we're going to go ahead and bring that down a bit here and make it fit into the window. And we're going to line it up, the red along with the black border, so it's getting in there perfectly. And so there you go, a little bit cleaner. We've got some borders to draw attention more into the presentation as well as the webcam, and then we can still use our text and go ahead and throw in the course title there. So unfortunately that does not save, but we'll put course title. And once again, this is all preference. You can choose whatever font you want, but we're true Sun Devils. We want to make sure that we have the right fonts and keep up the ASU branding. So let's go to Roboto Black. We're going to go ahead and change that to 165. We're going to click OK. We're going to type in course title. And again, we want to put in our maroon color. We saved it previously, but let's go ahead and try to put it in there. And got some overlapping going on, so we're going to justify that along with the border of the presentation. And there you go. We have our overlay. It's a little bit cleaner. We got a fun little circular frame for the webcam, and there's another way of doing it. So like I said, if you enjoy doing Photoshop, or perhaps you have some students who want to do a little dress up your OBS presentation, there's some ways of going about it there too. So now you have two ways to dress up and highlight and create engagement in OBS. There you have it. We've set up OBS. We've made it look really nice. Now we need to concern ourselves with recording, and if you want to add it to Zoom. So stick around. We've got some more videos, one on recording your OBS, and then also how you can add OBS to Zoom. Stick around. We've got more. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.